When you say you love her, what you really mean is, you found a mirror that reflects the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. Most men don't fall in love with women. They fall in love with the idea of themselves they see reflected. The smile, the laughter, the presence. It's a reflection, a projection, a story you tell yourself about who you could be if only the world or someone else allowed it. Carl Jung called this projection. It's one of the unconscious's most subtle and persistent tricks. We project the qualities we wish we had, the courage we lack, the emotional depth we suppress, onto another person, and then we call it love. But here's the cruel truth. She isn't real in the way you think she is. She's a mirror, and every heartbreak, every disappointment, every argument stems not from her, but from the parts of yourself you've refused to meet. Jung introduced the concept of the Anima, the feminine aspect of the male psyche. She is not just an internal archetype. She is the unconscious longing for wholeness, emotional depth, and connection. Every woman you desire carries an unconscious message. She embodies the traits you need to integrate. Your attraction is symbolic. It's a call to meet yourself, to awaken parts of your psyche that have been dormant. The problem is that we rarely see her as a human being. Instead, she is an emblem, a projection, a key to doors we've refused to unlock. Heartbreak is inevitable when love is projection, but heartbreak is not punishment. It is opportunity. Pain is the unconscious calling your attention. Every argument, every betrayal, every silent disappointment is a message. The world doesn't make you suffer. You suffer because you refuse to face yourself. She didn't leave you because of who she is. She left because the reflection you relied on could no longer sustain the illusion you had created. Every heartbreak forces you to ask the hardest question. Who am I without her? Without her approval? Without her presence as a mirror for my worth? And here lies the secret. When you stop relying on her to complete you, the reflection disappears. And in that emptiness, you meet yourself for the first time. Most men flee this emptiness. They chase another woman, another validation, another reflection. But courage is required to sit with the void, to face the silence, to meet your anima, and, through her, meet yourself. Jung's vision was always clear. Wholeness is the goal. The integration of the shadow, the conscious, and the anima is what allows you to love without dependence, without projection, without obsession. True connection begins when you stop needing her reflection to feel complete. You stop chasing what she represents in your unconscious and begin to meet her as a full, real, independent being. Integration is a slow, often painful process. It involves recognizing your fears, your insecurities, and your emotional blind spots. It requires honesty, admitting when you seek control, when you cling, when you project. When you achieve this, love becomes creative instead of consuming. Relationships become dialogues instead of mirrors. You are no longer seeking to complete yourself in her. You are choosing to walk together with a fully integrated self. And here's the gift. Women stop being puzzles you chase. They become collaborators in life, fellow travelers on the path to wholeness. Every relationship also reflects your habits. Your unconscious patterns appear in the way you communicate, the way you argue, the way you withdraw. Carl Jung taught that habits are not flaws, but messages from your shadow. The anger you feel, the jealousy, the overthinking, these are living symbols. And in love, they are magnified. The woman you are with becomes a mirror for every habit you haven't integrated. Instead of blaming her, notice your patterns. Ask, what am I avoiding? What am I protecting? Every habit is a door, and every door, when opened, leads to freedom, not punishment. The man who integrates his shadow approaches women not as objects, not as mirrors, but as full beings. He doesn't project. He sees clearly. He loves consciously. The ultimate lesson from Jung is this: Freedom in love comes from self-awareness. When you no longer rely on her to fill the gaps within you, you choose. You choose presence over obsession, integration over projection, truth over illusion. Every relationship, every attraction, every heartbreak is an invitation to meet yourself. If you accept the invitation, you stop being a prisoner of reflection and become the author of your own emotional life. And the truth is simple. The woman was never the problem. You were. The reflection was never her. It was yours. And once you meet that reflection within yourself, you can love freely, fully, and consciously. Remember this. Love is not about finding someone to complete you. It's about meeting yourself first. The reflection fades, but the connection you build can last a lifetime. Think back to every relationship that left you hollow, every woman you couldn't stop thinking about, every argument that spiraled out of control. What was happening? Not what you thought. You were not reacting to her. You were reacting to your reflection in her. Jung taught us that the unconscious is patient, persistent, and sly. It uses mirrors, masks, and projections to keep us unaware of our own truths. You chase love, but what you are chasing is yourself, or rather, the version of yourself that you wish existed. Ask yourself, was I ever in love with her? Or was I in love with the reflection she offered of my courage, my desire, my validation? And here's the subtle danger. Every time you chase a reflection, you give away more of your power. You surrender choice. Your freedom isn't lost to her. It's lost to your own unconscious patterns you've been giving your life away to shadows. And the moment you realize this, that's the moment you begin to reclaim it. Choice is a paradox. On one hand, it is exhilarating. On the other, terrifying. Jung said that the ego, the I we cling to, loves stability, even if that stability is toxic. And in love, stability is often an illusion. You may feel that freedom is about finding the right partner, avoiding heartbreak, or controlling every outcome. But true freedom is deeper. It's about choosing consciously, even when the unconscious screams for comfort, validation, or avoidance. Every urge, every attraction, every moment of jealousy or desire is a fork in the road. And here's the truth. You have always had a choice. You may not have known it, or you may have feared it, but it has never been taken from you. Choice is also a muscle. Like any muscle, it must be exercised. You don't become free in a day. You become free moment by moment, decision by decision, reflection by reflection. Next time you feel the pull of obsession, pause. Ask yourself, is this desire serving my growth or my fear? Write down the answer. The act of naming your unconscious motives is the first exercise in freedom. Freedom is impossible without shadow work. Every pattern you carry into relationships, jealousy, overthinking, avoidance, anger, codependency, is the shadow speaking. Jung insisted, until you make the unconscious conscious, it directs your life and you will call it fate. Your shadow is not evil. It is you. And in relationships, it speaks in amplified language. Every fight, every disappointment, every moment of longing is a coded message. It's saying, look here, you've ignored me for too long. Imagine the woman who frustrated you the most, the one whose words cut deeper than anyone else's. She was not your enemy. She was the messenger. She held up the mirror you refused to see. And when you finally meet the shadow, something extraordinary happens. You don't become someone else. You meet yourself fully. You stop giving your power away. You step into choice. Every heartbreak, every toxic pattern, every moment of obsession is not punishment. It is a map, a guide to the freedom you've been avoiding. Integration is the bridge between shadow and freedom. You cannot destroy your projections. You can only recognize them, understand them, and consciously choose a new way to relate. In practice, this means seeing women not as mirrors, not as objects to complete you, but as fellow humans with their own shadows and desires. Your love becomes conscious, not compulsive. Ask yourself in real time, am I reacting to her or am I reacting to myself? Am I seeking a reflection or am I engaging with a real human being? This is also where habits come into play. Every old pattern, anger, avoidance, overthinking, is amplified in love. Instead of suppressing these habits, notice them. Ask, what need am I avoiding? What truth am I afraid to face? And here's the paradox. The more you integrate, the less the habit controls you. You no longer react. You respond. You choose. Freedom emerges. Integration is the bridge between shadow and freedom. You cannot destroy your projections. You can only recognize them, understand them, and consciously choose a new way to relate. Identify one relationship habit that has controlled you. Journal. What need is it hiding? How could you meet that need consciously? Take one small action today to respond differently.